I'm lost for words. No, really. I am I'm lost for words. Free at last, free at last, free at last. Thank Allah Almighty. Muhammad is free at last. I'm Dr. Prasad, and welcome to Uncensored Guyana. Oh, beautiful Guyana. We ain't giving up no mountain. Mm-mm-mm. We ain't giving up money. Mm-mm-mm. We ain't giving up Muhammad. Mm-mm-mm. That belongs to we. Not one tax dollar, not one indictment, not one Lamborghini from Muhammad's family. We ain't giving up Muhammad's. Mm-mm-mm. We ain't giving up Shell. Mm-mm-mm. We ain't giving up Azruddin. Mm-mm-mm. And definitely not win. I never said I can sing. I just made that up out of the blues. I just pull it out. Remember, I said I'm lost for words? So I had to sing, or at least try to sing. I'm admitting it. I don't sing. I don't sing. I talk. I'm a talker. I don't sing. We wish win a Merry Christmas. We wish win a Merry Christmas. We wish win a Merry Christmas. And the opposition leader a happy New Year. The government we voted for, the party we voted for, kept on fucking up. Bravo. Never mind. So the Mohammeds are free. Yeah, yeah. Look. Let me address a few things. Let me address a few things. And I want to stress this. I support the People's Progressive Party because that's where my father was and my other father was. And I saw the example from those two men, one being Afro-Guyanese and the other being Indo-Guyanese. Those two men impact my personality, impacted my personality. I've carried the name of my biological father up to recently, all my life. And I've decided on this journey to continue the rest of my life with the name of my adopted father, who happened to be Prasad. Only I know how these two great souls influenced and impacted my life. Only I would know that. So when I make certain remarks or make certain statements, and I say continually, I don't give a fuck who's offended. I mean it. I absolutely mean it. I know nothing about the PNC in terms of following their crowds, or I was never interested in my life. I was never interested. As a boy, I've always had resentment for the PNC because of Burnham. Because of Burnham, because of his legacy, because of what he did to his own people. And I'm talking Afro-Guyanese. I'm talking, if you are a Guyanese, you're born in that land by nationality of birth, you're my people. I identify with you. And any leader, so-called leader, who could do to his people what Burnham did to his people, unforgivable. In no lifetime, no amount of praying and fasting and saying, well, let God deal with it. No. For what Burnham did to blacks and Indians, I can't wait for God to deal with that. He's dead and gone, but his crimes live on. I've always, as a boy, as conscious as I were, as a lad, had resentment for the PNC. Anything about the PNC turned me off. I wanted to hear nothing when it comes to the PNC. And because of that, I grew as a boy with resentment towards a large portion of Afro-Guyanese population because of the legacy of the PNC. A resentment, not a hatred, resentment. I found myself judging every time I see an Afro-Guyanese. I'm having prejudice for that person because I'm saying PNC. And if it's a PNC, how can you justify the crimes of Burnham and still proudly claim to be a PNC or walk around propagandizing people for the PNC? I couldn't reconcile that as a boy. And I've always been smart. I've always been smart. Logics and being logical was a thing back in the day as a kid. I couldn't understand. You have a neighbor that is an Indo-Guyanese, and you have seen how your PNC crowd have marginalized and discriminated against that neighbor. But somehow you think you have some kinship with Burnham and the PNC that despite their crimes, you can't call it out. You see your Indo brothers suffering. And because you're black and the PNC is supposed to be a black nationalist party, you can't condemn it. I couldn't understand that as a boy. You think as a man, a brainiac, a genius of a man, you think my brain can come up with some rationale for that? Never. So, I hope that register to you to understand that under no circumstance will I ever, regardless if Jesus is black or was black or whatever, and he came to me and say, Dr. Prasad, listen, you can call yourself whatever you want, that body belongs to you, but I'm asking you to support the PNC. They've changed. I will tell the black Jesus, go back to Africa and lecture to those Africans there. In no way I will do that. That's how deep I need to go. So when I talk about issues about this government, the People's Progressive Party civic government, damn you to think that I'm influenced by some fucking black sentiments for the PNC. I'm attacking the People's Progressive Party civic. Damn you for saying that. You are not in my shoe. I don't have to justify or ask anybody anybody permission to critique or to voice my discontent on any issue related to the People's Progressive Party. I don't need nobody's fucking permission for that. So if you want to judge me and question what I say because you think it's favoring the PNC, then fuck you. Let it favor the PNC. I'm repeating my point. If Anil Nandalal is the presidential candidate for the People's Progressive Party in 2030, I will not be supporting the People's Progressive Party. You understand? I will not. Because I maintain my point. There are many people within that party, locally and internationally, who are way more patriotic than even the President Irfan Ali to lead the People's Progressive Party. There are many, many, hundreds who can fill that slot. We don't always have to be limited to the ghetto crew in Guyana at Freedom House. Yes, the ghetto crew. We don't always have to think that our choices only exist within that small group that keeps pushing out the stalwarts of the party, keeps discouraging the real patriotic PPP members who wants to make a difference in that country. This ghetto crew is pushing them away. Pushing them away. And that has to stop. It has to stop. This ghetto crew now in the government, you don't own the country nor the party. That anybody who says something, you're ready to put, instead of you paying, and I'm saying it over. I'm fuck allegedly. Fuck all that shit. Instead of you paying pundits to go after people who are constructively criticizing the governance and the people in the government in order to objectively help the government, instead of you going after those people, use the money from the donors to pay people to do a good PR for the government. They need that. Clean up the shit. Pay people to do that. Don't pay them to go after people who are sincerely trying to make a difference. The win people have nothing to lose. Well, they've won so far. I mean, the irony is, gotta be fucking kidding me. The irony, the man named the party win. You see? That's the psychology in the whole thing. I told you, the color blue and WIN. So far, he has been winning while remaining calm, while keeping people glued to him, interested, causing him to trend and keep trending, and at the same time, attracting empathy, not sympathy, empathy. He won again. Yeah, you would have thought the whole drop-in case thing was just a thing for distraction. But when they came out and made it official, from the DPP, the man who was responsible, or woman who was responsible for directing all these prosecutors, also under the Ministry of Legal Affairs, to which Nandalal is the boss. Yeah. So we have that situation. That's a win for them. The Mohammeds won again. Now, besides that extradition request that is going to prolong into infinity, besides that, he can sing the Negro spiritual. After all, he's the king of the ghetto. He's the slum prince. He's every ghetto prostitute's dream of a knight in shining armor, Prince Charming. He can sing now. And his father. Free at last. Free at last. We can roam Guyana. Free at last. No charges. We are in the parliament as innocent folks. Innocent until proven guilty. What has happened with the indictment is a suspicion of guilt. Suspicion of guilt. It's not a certainty. You see, the certainty of guilt is when a jury pronounced guilty of all charges. When a jury do that. Before that is the suspicion of guilt. We suspect that you're guilty. Now we have to prove that you are guilty. And that has to be done in a court of law. Where? In the United States. But in Guyana, the 83,000 square miles of Guyana, free at last. I'm free at last. Thank God Almighty. I am free at last. In Guyana. He's innocent of all charges. Not guilty. You withdrew the charges. Means the Mohammeds now can file a massive lawsuit against the state for wrongful prosecution. Wrongful. They can take the government to court. After all, you can't refile the charge. You dismiss it. You pulled it. You discontinue the case. Everything is done. You can't come back after a week or a month to say we want to refile the charges. What kind of fucking nonsense is that? That's what you're trying to tell the Guyanese. We can always do this again. Is that democracy? Is that where you play with people's freedom? Conveniently, you want to cancel the charges. You want to stop it, end it, forget it. And then after a while, you come back and say, well, we want to refile these charges. What? Because you control the courts, you can do whatever the fuck you want? That's how it works. The people can sue you for the shit you put them through since May or whenever. They can sue you. And you want now, you're coming with all of these explanations, all these press release and all this shit, as if the average Guyanese give a fuck. The average Guyanese don't give a fuck. They don't. What is played out in public is that you went after this man. You spent a whole campaign. You had international coverage. And you promoted in confidence that you have real charges against the Mohammeds. They can't run away from that. And this is the problem I have with the courts. This is why I am backing, if they're calling it a witch hunt, when you weaponize the justice system against your opponents or against people you don't like, it's not democratic. That's dictatorship. And this is why I stand with Donald Trump when he's going after the people who did the same thing to him. They did everything in their power to stop him from running. Everything. They used the courts. Now all the charges are dismissed and the man just sue their asses. Sue their asses. All of them. That's the most he can do. In Guyana, isn't it a similar case? Before all this shit, we heard nothing about Mohammed's. If you're saying that this situation with this paper short or whatever it is, the conspiracy about this murder and all that kind of stuff, if you're fingering those people in that activity, then you have evidence. If you can make strong statements, and you can say things without any remorse or any fear of being held liable, it means you have evidence. And if you have evidence, then you should be contacted. The police should investigate you for withholding evidence and obstructing justice. If you have evidence that the Mohammeds are linked or were involved in the paper short stuff, then publish it. That's something they can go down for. Publish it. Because the whole cases that you had before, it's withdrawn. So there's nothing there. The people are freed. They now can stand on the pillars of what they were saying before. They were innocent. They can use that as a platform. And how do you expect the Guyanese to believe the government side? You went after the people full force. Full force. Then you withdrew the case to facilitate the enemy in getting one of your own citizens. Yeah, in this sense, the Americans are the enemy. They're coming after your people. If your people committed crimes against them, isn't your position to protect your citizens? They didn't commit crime against you. I mean, the Mohammeds must be geniuses to bribe even American officials in getting away with all the crimes they're accused of committing over the years. They have to have been geniuses, because we're talking about the Obama government, the Biden government, and the Trump government. 3 governments they were able to manipulate in the great America in order to escape all these things, all these accusations. They have to be geniuses to have been successful all the years with all these governments from different countries. So they should be treasured, isn't it? They should be treasured because they're Guyanese. And if the Guyanese can be that genius to do that to 3 consecutive American governments, I mean, should we go as far back as Bush? George Bush Jr. and George Bush Sr. Then we have Obama. Then we have Biden. And we have Trump. Then we should applaud the Mohammeds for the strategic game that they played. That they corrupted not only Guyanese government officials, but American government officials. To the point where they might very well be the richest people in the Caribbean, not just Guyana. So you're helping the country that they have done allegedly this thing to, while investing their money in Guyana. They invested their money not in America, in Guyana. You would think if they had invested their money in another country, then you have a beef. Say, hey man, you use the officials and you take your money, you take it elsewhere. No, their monies are in the banks in Guyana. Their businesses are based in Guyana. They're circulating their monies in Guyana. So all the foreign currency they would have earned over the years, it's in Guyana. So when you bring all these charges against that family to please the Americans, and now you're paying lawyers, foreign lawyers, to help the Americans against your own citizen, and then you charge your citizen, brought them before the courts, and after a few months, you dismiss all the charges. Who is the idiot? Again, the Mohammeds are the genius. They're the geniuses. Maybe Allah is working for them. Maybe God loves the billionaires. Money talks, cases are dismissed. And then what we hear, as usual, well, we need to facilitate the smooth flow of the extradition. So we can't allow anything to hinder that, as if it ever has before. What extradition? The man went before the courts in Guyana on a separate issue regarding the request to extradite these people. So they had to go before a local court to see if they're qualified for that, to be extradited, if they're qualified, if the crime matches. Your legal argument is, well, they're not supposed to have any issues with the country in Guyana before we extradite them. Isn't that a... If your neighbor is saying, if your neighbor is saying to you that your husband is fucking her and she wants you to put him out because she's having sex with him, and your husband takes care of you adequately, you get enough sex from him, quite frankly, that you can't really keep up. And he has a justification for fucking the neighbors. Because after all, I mean, you can't want to fuck a man once a week and expect that to be enough. He don't beat you. He's respectful, peaceful. He provides for the family. You live a luxurious life. You have practically no issues with him. Apart from this neighbor's claim, you have nothing with your husband. You're happy. He does what he has to do in the home as a husband. Because of your neighbor's claim, you're going to put him out? Give him over to her to do it as she wishes? Some of you dumb fucks do that. Yeah. When you are a woman and you are going to put your husband out just because some woman say he fucks them, could be true, who gives a shit? But your husband is the best you have ever found. Great guy. Does what he has to do in the house. But you want to show your neighbor that you are an upstanding woman and you don't deal with cheating men, and if somebody makes an allegation about your husband cheating, you don't care how good he is to you. I'm a woman of God. I'm an upstanding citizen. I don't deal with that. I can no. If you say he does that and you okay, then he has to go. Then you are a fucking idiot, a fucking stupid woman. That's what we have in Guyana. You have declared the Mohammeds innocent, free of all charges. You dropped the case. Now there's nothing on their name in the country legally. If you make accusations against them now, they can sue your ass for that. Because you have told the world, we have no case here. We dismiss the case. Your weak excuse, your fucking weak excuse don't make any sense. It's a weak excuse. Same thing, like I said, you helping the Americans. Your guy, your citizen, the richest man in your country, claim their innocence. I mean, they have not exposed their tax return. They haven't done that, but you should be able to see it on the GRA website. You be able to is Freedom of Information Act. You can see the tax files. You can go check it out to see how they file their taxes. If you have no issues regarding their yearly tax or whatever it is, you audit their books, you see that there's no issues here, just allegations, then they're free. And now America is claiming that they have done all these things, yet to prove it. Suspicion of guilt. So on that basis, they want to take your citizen to America so that they can hold them while they prove that they're guilty. They could have interviewed the Mohammeds right in Guyana. Right there. They could have interviewed them on question. Polygraph tests. They could have done it right there. Right there. If they have video evidence, audio evidence, signature evidence, credible testimonies from other people, if they have all of that, and they presented that in their indictment, attached the physical evidence to what they wrote, and they have all of that. They said, this is what the people did in our country. In our country, America. Not in your country, in our country. That's what they did. And they have the evidence. They have to try them in absentia in America. Try the case there with their evidence. They don't need the people physically there. Try the case based on what you already have. And if a jury, a grand jury, can find the evidence to be so, and a verdict follows, guilty on all charges, and a sentence is handed down to the Mohammeds, isn't it then the warrant is out? Because the case is finished. They're guilty. They were found guilty on all charges. Now you got to go get your criminal. Now you have to go get your criminal. So you go get the criminals, right? There's no trial again. They already found guilty. Then you get them. You make whatever deal you have to make. You get them and you imprison them. Isn't that how this shit happens? You mean you got to take them to start the whole thing again? You couldn't access them. So if the Guyana government, if the Guyanese courts say they're not extraditable on the 26th, the magistrate says, based on this, my report is that these people are not qualified for extradition. Case closed. What then? The Americans will have to go back and try the case in their courts without the physical presence of the Mohammeds. Then they will have to issue international warrants through Interpol for the arrest of these convicted criminals. That if the Mohammeds leaves Guyana, they can arrest them. But within Guyana, they're innocent. They have not been convicted yet. In Guyana, the Mohammeds are innocent. Free at last. Free at last. That's what it means. Thank Allah. I mean, I'm not a Muslim, but the Muslim says Allah. Allah. The Mohammeds are free at last. That's what they are echoing. I'm just repeating what they're echoing. So you can waste taxpayers' money and continue with your fight to help the Americans. Continue with your fight. Where are the Americans when you need them? Where are they when you need them? I'm still waiting for convictions with a conspiracy to burn the Doubleday Hotel. I'm still waiting for that. All the persons who have incited violence, disturbances during that time, I'm still waiting for those charges to be filed and those people to be held accountable. I'm still waiting patiently for that. You're using up the country's resources. How much did it cost the state? How much did it cost the state to file those GRA charges against the Mohammeds from May to now? How much did the state pay? Who is going to reimburse the state for that? You put them on $200,000 bail. They got their bail money back. Case dismissed. $200,000. He can take that money and build a house for somebody with it. Now, the money that you paid the lawyers for that case, who's going to pay it back? And this is what we are supposed to sit back and relax and trust the government. The government knows best, don't they? Yeah, they knew best when they filed the case against the Mohammed. They knew best. We applauded them. I was also one of them. I was one of the idiots who applauded them. I pushed the whole thing too. I'm guilty of that. But I spoke after them. I trusted what they said. Now I realize that you can't trust politicians. I should have known better. I should have known better. You know, we all helped to damage the people. We all helped. Without clear evidence, without a conviction, we all helped. If the GRA and the courts had found the Mohammeds guilty of all these financial crimes, after that fact, it would have been suitable to press on it because the evidence were heard and the court, the trusted legal system, discovered that it was so. How many of you were not wrongfully prosecuted? How many people weren't sent to jail while they were really innocent? How many innocent faced jail time in Guyana for crimes they didn't commit? They were not even close to the crimes, but they are in prison right now for crimes they never committed. The courts and the jury found them guilty based on trumped up charges, false evidence, fake narratives, and they are facing real jail time. How many? There are hundreds of people, hundreds of people. You want to talk about America? Well, that's the black curse. The black curse in America, not just black and brown, as in black people and Indian people. In America, that's their curse. Wrongful accusation, wrongful prison sentence, wrongful jail time. It's a thing. So you would understand when you know that you are innocent and the government used the powers of the state, weaponize the legal system just to prove a point that they were right about you. That's the arrogance of the justice system. If they accuse you of something, if they have to fabricate charges just not to look bad, they will do it. Just to say that they were correct, they were right about that individual. Their suspicions were correct. You can trust them. They got the right person. Most of the time, they always get the wrong person. The innocent pay for the guilty. Look at the parliament. Look at the guilty folks there. Who's paying for that? So the people are free. Remember that kidnapping case where the young man was from Essequibo, was kidnapped for about 2 weeks, I think, tortured and all kinds of stuff. With this man that came on the Travis Chase news the other day and say he revealing stuff about the president's mother and all these kinds of stuff. What became of that case? They supposedly had evidence about who were involved in that. Evidence. What became of that case? Who went to prison for that? Who suffered for that? The young man and his family had to flee Guyana. They had to leave Guyana. They started building, they start investing in their country. But because of the innocent paying for the guilty, and who the fuck you know, that case was never solved. They're living in another country, fearful of going back to their country because the accusers are still at large. And one person who were fingered in that would be the Mohammeds. But right now they have no charges against them, nothing on their name, nothing. They are clean as a whistle. Clean as a whistle. Wasted taxpayers' money fighting that case. Wasting taxpayers' money helping the Americans, as you say, to extradite the people. Wasting taxpayers' money. But you can't waste the taxpayers' money to go after the real criminals in Guyana who are really conspiring to do all these corrupt things in the country. You can't go after them. You can't use the money to solve real crimes. You can use it to pay foreigners, Jamaicans and Trinidadians and whoever, to pay them, but not to give justice to your own people. Or if this was the PNC, I would have been much harder. I am not that hard. Because again, a lot of you idiots are saying that because I didn't get what I want from the PPP. What the fuck you think I wanted from the PPP? You think I'm turning against them because I didn't get what I want? What do you think I wanted? What? What do you think I wanted from the PPP? When you figure something out, you can tell me. What I want from the PPP is fair governance, impartial, unbiased governance. They're touting about zero corruption, all these committees to fight corruption. Every time that's what the fuck you hear. When the government went first in 2020, in the first 6 months, all you hear about fighting corruption, fighting corruption, fighting corruption. After then, you stop hearing it. PNC, the same thing. It's always the hyped up the new thing, you know. Oh my gosh, you find a girl now. Oh baby, I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. Oh, you don't have to worry. I'll do this for you. When you get tired of the pussy, then she's like, honey, remember you promised to buy me an iPhone? When did I do that? Yes, you did. When it calms down. But the Guyanese politicians, they are so nasty. Nothing comes out of their mouth must be trusted. And the PPP politicians now are reflecting the behavior of the PNC. It's like a competition to see who can be more fucked up. I spent a lot of time promoting the vice president. I said he's the greatest politician ever lived. I said a lot of stuff about these politicians. You know how guilty I feel? That I put my credibility behind a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean that I didn't know the facts. I knew the facts. I knew stuff. And I said the facts, I knew what was available. That's what I knew. And because the people of the Win Party, or Azruddin Mohammed and his family, because they know more than I do when it comes to the inner workings of the PPP, remember the father is older than Ali, even older than Jagdeo. He would have known stuff that they would even dream about. The father, Shell Mohammed, knows more about the PPP than President Ali himself. He knows all the loopholes, he knows everything. So if the man has a beef with the PPP, he has a right to have a beef with the PPP. There are bodies and arms, remember? Bodies and arms. The time when the PNC were pressuring the Indians had to stick together, cover each other's tracks. You understand? So of course they will know where the corruption is. They will know who is corrupt, what they're corrupt about, what they did. They will know everything. The Mohammeds will know everything about the PPP and their people. Everything. What you are not privy to, they know. So if it is their agenda to destroy the PPP, they have all the information they need to do that. You must understand this. Bring your head around this. Also the PNC. Bring your head around that. Their alleged crime and conspiracies were encouraged, supported, backed by both governments, the PPP government and the PNC government. There's only two governments in Guyana, PNC and PPP. Only. The Mohammeds are in business for over 30 years. Over 30 years. And they have experienced both governments. And every government, they kept getting richer. You're telling me these politicians don't know? And now we're supposed to believe that all these fuckers are innocent? That all of them are innocent? Because they say they're innocent? What's it to you? What's it to you? You're gonna put your neck on the, you're gonna put your head on the block, put your neck to the gallows to say that, oh my gosh, I swear Vice President is speaking the truth. I swear President Ali is speaking the truth. I swear, would you do that? Would you, a citizen, put your neck on the gallows there and by faith swear for the president or any of the PPP members? Would you do that? I dare you to do it. I dare you. The universe will be the judge, right? Put your neck there. You wouldn't. You're hoping that everybody just sing the same tune so we can forget about that. But while we forget about that, crime continues. Because where the Mohammeds are left off, another Mohammed takes the place. That shit never stops. Corruption never stops. What is helping a lot of the people like the Mohammeds in the government? What is helping them is big contracts. Big government contracts. That's helping them. And how is it helping them? It justifies the billions that they have. You can't question where they get their money. Well, I'm a government contractor. Case closed. Case closed. How can you finger them in anything? They do contracts for the government. So if they have 100 billion, well, I've been a contractor for 20 years. I've done government projects. I've done this, I've done that. Justifiable riches. Case fucking closed. Who is going to snitch? Politicians who are getting money, who are getting drawback. You think they're going to snitch and say, no, it's not true. He's a drug dealer, or he did this, he did. No, they wouldn't snitch. The whole point of them being in politics is to get some payback. You see how they live? You think government salaries can provide that lifestyle? They live in mansions. We know how the Mohammeds get their money. The American told us that. So the castles that the Mohammeds live in, well, we know based on the allegations how they get their money. How the politicians get their money. I will forever, I tell you, I will forever, if ever I build a temple, I'm putting Chetty's picture there. I'm putting Chetty's picture there. I will forever idolize Dr. Jagan, forever. You understand? This is beyond biology. This is beyond racial identity. I will forever. The man is as perfect as it gets. One of them, not one of them, the only politician in the Caribbean or Latin America that stood out. He would be at the right-hand side of God right now. Because when God says, show me one man in the Caribbean that has lived a beautiful life, and I'll spare damnation to that Caribbean. And the angels will say, well, there's Chetty. God will say, okay, I concur. I'll spare the Caribbean. Yes, indeed, Chetty. But look at the PPP today. I want to clean it up. You understand me? I'm not a hypocrite, like I said before. I'm the hypocrite. So when you're there and you expect me, because yeah, well, he's a PPP. Yeah, I'm a PPP, but I'm not a slave to any of the politicians. No, I'll never be. Who the fuck are they? I'll never be a slave to politicians. You understand? Because to this day, I have survived all my life without any favors from the PPP. The PPP has never in my whole life done anything for me. Nothing. Just so you know. I wasn't interested in the PNC, so don't bother with that. I wasn't interested. But my heart is with Chetty. His legacy, his policies, that's where he stands for the good of Guyana. But what's happening right now, it seems that the government is just looking at avenues of how they can use money. Use the people's money for dumb stuff that does not contribute to the development of the country. And your development that we talk about, who does it benefit? The capitalists, businesses. Corporate Guyana, the development benefits right now. Corporate Guyana. Those who need free access and quick access, they're the ones who benefit. Corporate Guyana. The business community of Guyana, they're the ones who are directly benefiting from the development that's happening right now. The business community. Or shall we say, the cabinet. because the cabinet is the business community. They're all linked to some corporation, some company, something, some bank. They're all linked to that. So there's always a drawback. When the monies are going, every time you get an information, it's a project. It's a project. It's a project. It's a project. And all the project deals with what? Contractors. And contractors means money. Money means loans. Loans mean it comes back right back to you, the citizen. And you see this beautiful thing. I want to give you for food for thought so you understand. When you take pictures of all those high-rise hotels, all those fancy places, when you take pictures of that and you post it, you're proud that Guyana is looking like New York. You're proud. But just like New York, how many of you can visit there? Let's look at the Trump Tower. You go to the Trump Tower and you take a picture. Yeah, you can walk in, take a picture. You post it. You're giving promotion for Trump Tower. But can you stay there? Can you afford to eat there? Can you book a room there? Can you buy an apartment there? Can the average person do that? No. So who the fuck does it benefit? The business class. So in Guyana, all that's happening, can the average citizen afford it? No. Who can? The business class. So why don't you let the business class do their promotion? The deals that were signed with the oil and gas 2 days ago, with the new blocks and all these kinds of stuff, how much revenue comes to the people? And when I say comes to the people, I'm talking in terms of services to the people. How much? Where does the money go? The oil revenue and all the revenues from all these projects, where does the money go? The money goes into the what? The budget. That has to service what? Fucking loans. So indirectly, the money goes to paying loans. That is borrowed in your name to build infrastructure that you would not benefit from. And we are supposed to cheer it on. The president has a few more years before he's gone. What then? The next president that comes, he has to find some shit to do with the money. Maybe he will build flying cars. Yeah, maybe he will build hotels in the sky. He will build underground tunnels, underground trains. All of that he will do because there is nothing else to do. All the money is spent in infrastructure. Now the citizens just have to be happy about their 10% increase and pay the fucking loans back for the rest of their lives. While the president and his team goes off into retirement filthy rich with their hand in all of these different companies and projects that are linked to these infrastructure development. Who benefits, folks? You tell me. Do you? You're the one breaking traffic laws and you're getting fined and going to court, right? You're the one getting tickets to take a picture on the Barjagdeo Bridge. You're the one who have to pay the cost, not the politicians. You do. So how does this benefit you as a Guyanese citizen? How? You want to celebrate it because it's done via the PPP's government, and if you're an Indian, if you're an Indo-Guyanese, you need to not be critical, because if you are critical, you think it's helping the PNC or the opposition to say that, hey, you see, their own people are criticizing them. Is that the thing you get used to? Well, the PNC don't exist anymore. It's another Indian that's in the picture. So who's criticizing who? Another Indian in the picture, not the PNC. So if you sit back and allow what's happening to happen, you'll do the same with the Win Party. If the Win Party becomes the president, you'll do the same. You'll shut your mouth because, well, after all, it's an Indo-Guyanese president too. So they can do whatever they want. I can't criticize. It's a sad day. But here it is. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And when you subscribe is you just click subscribe. See on the YouTube it says subscribe. The word subscribe, that's where you click. You just click on the subscribe link there. And then you become a part of the channel, and then you can get the updates. You can know when I'm streaming, when I'm online. And on Facebook, you follow me there. On TikTok, you follow me there. That's what you do. And in terms of those who are donating, the number that you see there for the Zelle account, it's not a number to call. It's a number that is attached to the account. All you have to do is enter that number, and you get to the account and you make your donation. But you don't need to call it. You just attach the donation. If you use the Zelle, you know how to work it. If you need to confirm, if you don't have a Zelle account and you want to do it via Western Union or MoneyGram, then you can. There is also a WhatsApp number there. That WhatsApp number is the direct number to me. There's nobody else that has it. There's no hacker, no Nigerian romance scammer. You understand? It's just me. It's my number. So when you add it, you'll see my profile picture. You call me during the hours of 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just after the show, you can call. After that, I am unavailable. You send a text, I can respond when I have the time. I have to go through all of this because, you know, people are funny. Human beings are funny. They attach so much sentiments to their money. Even if it's a very tiny amount, they attach emotions to that. So if they want to make a donation, they want to be treated like a queen or a king. Just to make a donation once. If they don't feel that satisfied that they get the attention they need from me, their emotions go out the door, and then they feel, okay, well, if I can't call him when I want, and he picks up the phone, then I'm going to make a donation. Just keep your fucking money. I've said it many times. If you are going to support what I do it because you like the show, you like what I do, you want to stand with me. Don't come on this channel because you want to hear something that satisfies you. I am not here to make anybody horny or make anybody love me. I'm not here for that. I would not take on that responsibility. It's too difficult. It's too much work. If I come a day and I talk about things, it's because that's how I am at that moment. Tomorrow I may say things that are a little nicer. Tomorrow I may come and I may sing the praises for Ali or the PBB. But that's me. Okay? I'm not coming on the show thinking about, man, I hope nobody's pissed at what I'm going to say. I hope that if people are planning to send $1,000 or $500, I hope I can say something that would not piss them off. Then they would change their mind. It's a fucking headache. So I come on my show and I be myself. I am me. I'm not here to please anybody. All right? So if in your heart you want to donate, just donate. Okay? That's it. It's either you do or you don't. Either way, I'll still be here. I will still be here, and I don't determine who watch or who don't watch. I will still be talking for the Guyanese people. I will still be doing my work for the Guyanese people, whether you support or not. Don't exhaust me with all this drama. Theatrics, man. Fuck. Anyway, until next time. Namaste.